Welcome, Hornet Nation, to a Sunday edition of Hornet Hockey, where your Bantam Hornets will be taking on New Prague. This is the start of District 6 playoffs, a double elimination format where it is key not to lose, because if you get in that secondary bracket, it is a long slog. So no game can be taken lightly, despite the fact that we have beaten New Prague 3 times. One of those was a very close affair. So we are moments away from puck drop. And what is the start of what is colloquially known as districts? And we'll be back. So we are coming to you live from Eden Prairie, rink number 1. We're going to start out with Nolan Ferrara and Edina, backed up by Bauer and Helmer. So New Prague off the draw, punches it down into the Hornet end. Here's a break for Nolan. Nolan streaking through the red line. He's going to gain on the left side, rolling around the circle, looking to center a shot, sticked away by the Trojan tender. As New Prague looks to break out, they cycle out of the zone through the neutral zone. Gaining on the line, swept aside by Bauer, and Helmer's going to have to contain his man to the outside. Does a good job rubbing his player out. Breakout pass, no good, and a shot is swept aside by Banbury. Up on the wall, Trojans from the corner. Wheel deal look. Intercepted by Ivan, pitches it out of the zone. And the Trojans will have to reset. Now breaking up the left side, gaining the line, held outside by Darlene. Darlene pushes his man into the glass. Working it. Pinning his man as Nolan is in to help out. Trojans come away. They try to center the puck. There it is out front, banging. Picked up by Ivany. Puck is rolling on its end. He kicks it. And the Trojans get tied up by the ref. So the Hornets have a chance for a line change. There's a rink-wide pass now through the neutral zone. Trojans held up, and Dorsey picks it up on the backside. Wheels around, looks at his options. Slides it up to Hester. Hester now sends it to Dorsey. Dorsey with speed. He goes down the left side. He's trying to work his way in. Tried to center it. It's off the side of the net, and the Trojans now work from behind. With numbers, they slide it across, picked off by Hester. Now it's punched down into the Edina end, where Potts will be the first man in. He ties up his man. Puck's out as Dorsey tries to shovel it up the wall. And a shot into Banbury is saved with 13:06 on the clock in this first frame with no score. So Dorsey on the draw. Tied up on the draw. Dorsey tries to kick at it. Trojans come away. They throw it behind the net where Potter is there from the corner. Blasting it up to Hester. Held from the point and thrown right back down. Potts, here's a quick shot. It's right out front. It's banging. No one can get a hold of it. Now there's finally a whistle. Danger. As a certain peril was avoided, and there will be a line change. As Bergmeyer, Wilkins, and Kervita roll on with Bauer and Helmer. Off the draw. Puck sent up by Helmer on the wall. Here's a break for Bergmeyer. He's got Kervita rolling in 2-on-1 situation. Tried to slide it across, and a stick check by the Trojan defender stops the play cold. Bergmeyer throwing his man. We're going to get a call here. Bergie's going to go to the box. As the Trojans now go rink wide, and they try to break in on the left side. All the way down, a firing shot, sails wide, Wilkins will touch up and we'll get the call. Cross-checking is the call. Bergmeyer will be showing the gate at 12:18 with no score. So the Hornets will be shorthanded. They're going to stick with Wilkins and Ewers and Bauer and Helmer. Wilkins on the draw. Puck contained. No, it's swept out, and the Trojans will have to reset from the neutral zone. Rink wide up the left side. Stopped by Bauer, who pinches it up. As Bauer again sweeps it out of the zone. Trojans have yet to find the Hornet end. As they look for a pass, they go rink wide. They try to steal it down, and Bauer once again slides it out. Finally punched down. Bauer will be first man in. Ties up his man. Helmer comes away from behind the cage. Looks up on the backhand side of Wilkins. And from the point, they punch it right back down. From the circle, looking, back to the point. All the way down to the corner. Trojans try to set something up. Helmer bangs his man. Tying him up, pushing him into the wall. Wilkins in to help out. Trojans can't establish. They go rink wide, D to D. Sneaks out of the zone. And they will have to reset once again. Minute left in the man advantage. D to D. Oh, almost stolen by Wilkins. And here come the Trojans with numbers. Stealing across the line. Working their way in. A shot short side is turned away. Helmer from behind the cage. Looks up. Long pass. Held at the point nicely. And a shot on net. Salted away by Bambury. With 11:04 on the clock. And 46 seconds left in the New Prague man advantage. So Ivany and Nolan on with Mizzle and Darlene. Darlene from the corner slides it. Oh, and then a bank pass. Oh, short side shot turned away. Still banging around back there. As Mizzle comes away. Mizzle tries to chip it up the boards. Held at the point. Slide across in the high slot. Trojans throw it back to the point. Now another shot. Turned away. Bambury in the air. Banging. Where is it? I don't know. No goal. The whistle was called. Man in the crease anyway, I think. Hornets have yet to establish any sort of a rhythm, even though they are shorthanded. The passes have to be crisper. Ivany on the draw. Darlene slides it behind the cage to Mizzle. Mizzle looks up ice. Long stretch pass intercepted on the blue line. And the Trojans look to reset. Rink wide pass now sneaks into the zone, but Darlene punches it right back. 10 seconds left in the man advantage. Trojans held in their own zone. They go D to D, slide it up on the wall, miss pass, Mizzle steps up. Now Nolan, back to Darlene. Darlene slides it back to Nolan. Mizzle picks up the trailer, waffles it out of the zone, picked up by Ferrara. He throws it up to Ivany on the line. Ivany tries to slide it. Now from the top of the circle, looking. He throws it down to Nolan. Nolan loses a handle, and the Trojans now counter. Long stretch pass intercepted by Ivany, but it's picked up by the Trojans. Across the line, a long shot. Rebound opportunity, but Darlene sweeps it away. Trojans from the backside, looking at options. Nolan in, trying to steal the puck. From behind the net, Ivany picks it up. He's banging on the wall, and it sneaks all the way back to Darlene at the point, who fires a shot and goes wide. Trojans now pinned in their own zone. They go rink wide. Long stretch pass, picked up, sent into the Hornet end. And Darlene rubs his man out against the glass. Trojans still very aggressively working it as Ivany has stood up the line. Now from the high slot, a firing shot, sent wide. Both teams at full strength. We're going to get something. Slashing call. Looks like it's going to be against New Prague. So the Hornets will be on the man advantage with 9:06 on the clock. And the score is still at zeros. So we're going to have Nolan, Hester, Kurvita, and Bauer and Mizzle. So Nolan on the draw. Puck tied up. And New Prague dumps it down for an icing. New Prague has the surprising shot advantage. 9-2. Hornets got to pick it up. Off the draw. Puck sent to the wall. Kurvita trying to wheel from the corner. Looking to center. Looking. Wheeling, dealing. Slides it down to Hester. Hester from the corner. He's working it on the wall. Trying to send it back. From Mizzleton the point to Nolan. Nolan now on the circle. Walking in. Firing. Hits traffic and goes to the near side. Bauer pinches up. Works it. Gets it to Hester. Hester from behind the cage. Looking. Sliding it to Nolan. Nolan looks from the point, down to Hester. Hester on the dot. He's knocked off the puck, comes to Nolan. Nolan steps over his man. He chips it down to Kurvita. Kurvita back to Nolan. Nolan working around the circle. Back to Mizzle, back to Nolan. Nolan trying to drive in. Long stick by New Prague, swipes it away. Now New Prague cycles behind the cage. They throw it out. It's held by Mizzle. No, and it's knocked out. Here's a feisty New Prague guy taking on two defenders as he dumps it into the zone and Nolan picks up. A minute left in the man advantage. Long rink wider to Kurvita. Kurvita wheels his way in. Nice toe drag as he goes across the line. To Hester in the slot. A firing shot. Hits traffic. Another one. Nothing. From behind the net. Hester works it on the wall. Trying to slam it down to Kurvita. Kurvita tries to pick it up. And New Prague from the corner works it. They ring it around the boards. It's held at the point. Darlene down to Hester. Hester slides it across the crease. Nobody home. Nolan from the wall. Works his way around. Looks. Tip shot goes wide as Potter works his man in the corner. Now Hester pestering his man behind. And the puck just dribbles around to the far side and is swept out of the zone with 15 seconds left in the man advantage. Darlene from behind cycles up. Looks for daylight. He's going to take it himself. He's going to gain the line. He walks in, stops, fires a shot, but he whiffs. On the wall. He's pinned up. Potter in to help out. Puck is slung around to the far side. Wilkins in on the puck. Now it's Bergmeyer. Trying to roll in. New Prague back at full strength. Bergie from the corner. Pressing his man into the glass. Potter in to help out. Both teams digging at it. Who's going to break the seal? I don't know. New Prague from the corner. Throwing it up on the wall. Intercepted by the Hornets as they contain the zone. Now it sweeps out. New Prague from the red line. Stood up by Darlene, and Mizzle will be back to clean up. Mizzle throws it around to the near side to Bergmeyer. Bergmeyer punches it up the wall, but it's intercepted by the ref skates. Boys all piled up. Comes away to Mizzle. Mizzle now with speed across the red line. He gains the line. He works his way in, but he's stick checked off. And New Prague now counters with numbers. Sliding it up through the neutral zone. Bauer pinches nicely to Kurvita. Now down. Boys banging at it. Too many men on the ice for New Prague, but they didn't call it. Sliding all the way back to Helmer. Helmer wheels deals. He's in trouble. He's working it. He throws it to Bauer's skates. New Prague trying to center it. As they're stood up in the corner, Kurvita picks it up. Punches it up to Bergmeyer. Now it's Kurvita again. Kurvita rolls. Kurvita through, gaining on the right side, sliding it all the way across onto Ferrara's backside. He couldn't quite handle it. And now it's back down to Kurvita. Punched around to the far side corner. Bauer pinches. Holds it. As it comes away. Bauer trying to power his way through. Now it's Ferrara. Ferrara knocking his man. Rink-wide pass stolen by Helmer. Helmer out on the circle. Firing and it hits traffic. Ferrara from the wall. Centers it. Now a short-sider by Nolan. Turned away. A lot of furious action. As now it's sent out front. Right in front. Banging. Nothing. Hornets now. They smell blood. They're holding the zone. A quick shot into the defender and thrown all the way down for an icing. So now we'll get back to regular lines. We got Nolan, Ferrara, Ivany, backed up by Potts and Potter with 5:01 on the clock and no score. Nolan on the draw. New Prague from behind the cage. They wheel in the corner and try to punch it up the wall. Stopped by Ivany. Nolan battles his man behind the cage. New Prague pinned down deep in their zone. They're trying to establish a breakout. Ivany blasters his man to the glass. It's sent back to the point. Potts tries to center it. A shot across the crease, no connection. New Prague trying to work it up on the wall. Potter just puts it down right up front and smothered by the Trojan tender. With 4:34 on the clock. So that brings on Ewers, Dorsey, and Hester. Backed up by Potts and Potter. Dorsey on the draw. Puck swept out of the crease. A quick shot by Ewers. There's a rebound. Loose change. Nobody home. Potts holds the line, and Ewers slams it right back down behind the cage. New Prague fires that out of the zone rink wide, and we'll get an icing. So we'll do it again. Off the draw, New Prague tries to throw it out of the zone. Mizzle throws it in front. Ewers couldn't find the handle. Now Mizzled again, wheeling in on the wall. Trying to center it, hits traffic, trying to pitch it back. Dorsey from the point, loses the puck almost. And now New Prague with numbers. So 3-on-1 situation as they roll in. Trying to waffle it across. Can they get a shot? Bambury gets a piece of it. Now Ewers from the wall. Looks up. Long saucer pass picked up by Dahlin. Dahlin with speed through the neutral zone. He's got Dorsey in front of the cage. Rolling in. Looking to center. All the way around the cage. Back to Mizzled at the point. Mizzled surveys. And he fires. And that tip goes over the net. Dorsey tries a short-sider. He tried to send it back to the point. And he was rubbed out. As now it's free. Breaking in. Hester back to Mizzle. D-to-D pass to Dahlin. Dahlin fires it down to Hester. Hester fires in front. There's a tip and in! Yes! Did you see it? Hester fired it in. I'll have to review the tape, but I think their defender actually put it in. There's a shot from Hester, and the Hornets have broken the seal. 1-0 at 3:24 in the first. So Bergmeyer, Wilkins, Kurvita on with Bauer and Helmer. Off the draw, New Prague from the backside, trying to wheel it up the wall and punch it down. Helmer working his man to the outside as New Prague tries to center, and they are thwarted. From the corner, wheeling, and a pass out front doesn't connect, but from the D, they fire. Hitting traffic. New Prague has it in the zone, firing again. Bambury turns it away. Helmer working it from the backside, sliding it up to Wilkins a bit too far and contained at the point. Thrown right back down, New Prague drives in. There's a centering pass. It's fluttering. It's in there. It's banging. Comes away to Helmer. Helmer pitching it up the wall. There's a foot race with Helmer. He rolls up. He crosses the line. All the Hornets go down. For some weird reason, as New Prague now looks to counter, rolling through the neutral zone, gaining on the right side. Bauer tries to hold his man to the outside, does a good job stick checking it away. Bergmeyer trying to fire it around. Bauer just chips it right back down to the corner, and Bergmeyer throws him a shoulder. I don't know what the call is. Roughing. He used his shoulder. Go figure. So New Prague will be on the man advantage at 2:21 left in the first. So Wilkins and Kurvita did burn this one off. Shot, cranker! And the penalty did its damage. As New Prague has found the back of the net at 2:18 in the first to tie this game at 1. A certified fresh one-time cranker right in the slot. So Nolan, Ferrara, Ivany on with Potts and Potter. Off the draw, Potter looks up from the backside and pitches it down into the New Prague end. New Prague slides it up to the far side wall. Ivany tries to pickpocket, sneaks out of the zone. Here's a break, rolling in. Potter trying to hold his man. As they try to center it, it's swept out. Ferrara now slides it up to Ivany. Ivany with speed, trying to roll through. He's pinched off the puck, and New Prague sends it back the other way. Potter from the backside, trying to slide it over the line. We get something. Offside call with 1:48 on the clock. So not surprising, this game, which in all accounts Edina should have no trouble with, has turned into a real contest. From the backside, Potts throws it to Potter. Potter up the wall to Ferrara. Ferrara gains the line, wheels in around. He's hassled by two Trojans. He tries to center it back to Potter at the point. Potter waffles it up and over. It's knocked down. The Trojans try to play it from behind the net. Wheeling, dealing, stolen away by Nolan. Nolan back to the point. Potts wheels around. He fires a low shot. There's a tip. Sent wide. Trojans now waffling it up. Knocked down by Nolan, who pitches it right back down. We're approaching 1 minute left in the first. New Prague sends a long pass, no connection, and we will get an icing. So Dorsey Ewers Hester, Mizzle Darlene. Dorsey off the draw. New Prague from the corner, and they try to bang it out, held by Darlene. Darlene shovels it right back down, intercepted, and New Prague now tilts the ice back the other way. They go rink wide and gain the line. Darlene meets his man in the corner, ties him up, comes to Mizzle. Mizzle slides it up to Hester. Hester dishes it to Dorsey on his backside. Dorsey slides it up to Ewers. Ewers can't find it in his skates. He gains the line anyway. Rolls down into the corner. He's pinned up on the boards. And New Prague waffles it up to the far side. Darlene holds the line. Yes, but it's picked off by New Prague. Rolling, gaining the line on the right side. 30 seconds left. Now it comes away to Hester. Hester breaks. He's going to have to deal with a bunch of Trojans. He toe drags. He toe dragged a little bit too much. And the Trojans cycle behind their cage, pitching it up on the wall. Mizzle holds it. He wheels in. Trojans pick it off with 15 seconds left. Darlene pitching it back up the wall. Trojans look from the red line. A long shot. It's tipped. And this is pretty much going to do it. The puck goes into the webbing with 1 second left. And that's it. End of one, and a score of 1-1. All right, fresh 15. Start of the second. Dorsey, Hester, and Ewers backed up by Bauer and Helmer in a 1-1 tie game. Shots are still with the advantage of the Trojans, 11-6. So the Hornets have to find that next level of play, which is befitting of playoff hockey. Off the draw, puck sent down into the Hornet end. Bauer looks to collect. Slams it up to Ewers on the wall. Slides it to Dorsey a bit too far. Dorsey trying to reach for it, as it's punched up to Hester on the line. Trojans now stealing it across the line. Right out front is Ewers playing with it in the slot on the backhand side, contained by New Prague, who just throws it right back down. Bauer from the corner slides it up the wall to Hester. Trojans intercept. Slide it across. Now it's Dorsey trying to get it out of the zone, and it's just punched right back down. Well, I don't know what's going on with the Hornets, but they have a hard time possessing. Dorsey in on the wall, working it. Hester trying to slide it away. Comes back to Helmer, who throws it behind to Bauer. Bauer from the corner, up to Ewers. Miscommunication as Ewers sends it around to Helmer. Helmer, long stretch pass to Hester. Hester through the neutral zone. He's going to gain on the left side. Slides it across to Dorsey. Dorsey in the slot, fires a shot. It's legged aside by the Trojan tender. Ewers from behind the cage. Puck is sent to the near side wall. Ewers digging at it. Dorsey in there as well. A lot of digging. So Ewers is pinned up. Dorsey's digging. Trojans come away. Now Dorsey from behind. Centers it out front. And Hester can't find the handle as the Trojans flip it down. And it will be an icing with 13:30 on the clock. So Bergmeyer, Kervita, Wilkins, Darlene, Mizzled. Off the draw, New Prague from the corner, pitch it up on the wall. It's held by Darlene. He pitches it right back down, sliding across the slot. Wilkins couldn't find the handle. Now Kervita turns, burns, fires into traffic. Stretch pass. New Prague tries to split the D, and it's contained by Darlene, who sends it up. New Prague controlling from the line. Long waffler, and this will go down for an icing. So face off to the right of the Trojan tender, Berge on the draw. Puck tied up on the dot. Wilkins trying to bang it through. Thrown to the wall. Kervita dishes it right behind. Trojans from behind the cage. Send it up the near side wall, contained by Darlene at the point. Throwing it down to Kervita. Skips over his stick as Kervita manhandles his guy into the wall. Berge in, digging at it. Comes away to the near side. Trojans from the corner, trying to slide it up. Now they gain through the neutral zone with speed, rolling down the left side. He blows a tire at the last moment, and the Trojan fans want to call, but there was no tripping. He just fell. Now, from the high slot, rolling through, looking for options. Loses the handle. Wilkins trying to battle the puck. Contained by the Trojans as they throw it up on the left flank. Both teams trying to establish possession. Now Mizzle from behind the cage. Looking up. He's going to take this one. He wheels down the right side. All the way down with speed. And he's knocked with a huge check into the boards. Trojans from behind as the fans are going crazy on the New Prague side. Break out as they try to roll up. Ivany picks it off. He's trying to hold the zone. Nolan trying to hold the zone. Here come the Trojans. 2-on-1 situation as they roll in from the circle. A firing shot. It's saved by Banbury and smothered. With 11:45 left in the second. New Prague has come to play for sure. Nolan on the draw. Comes to Ivany. It's naked in the point, and it sneaks out of the zone, and New Prague will have to reset. New Prague now cycling through the neutral zone. Wheeling up, gaining on the right side. Walking around the circle, a shot is deflected and is sent behind the cage. New Prague still controlling from from the corner, trying to wheel it out front, sneaks behind the cage. Potter ties up his man, Ferrara in. More digging. As Nolan sends it up the wall, trying to get it to Ivany. It's pitched right back down. Here comes New Prague, wheeling in on the circle. Just trying to center it. Picked away, but still a shot. Turned away by Banbury. Ferrara knocked off the puck. As Potter comes in, levels his man. New Prague now controls from the point. Slamming it down to the corner. Centering, trying to look, wheeling around. Back behind the cage. To the point. And it sneaks past. Here's a race. Can Ivany get there? He's hooked off the puck. He's looking for a call. He's not going to get it. New Prague sends it right back down and goes for a line change. Potter from behind. Long stretch. A waffler through. Ivany on the line. Ivany trying to wheel it in. Nolan on the wall too. He's knocked off the puck. New Prague bangs its way. It comes to Potts. Sneaks past Potts. Potts has got to look. He looks up to Nolan. Nolan shovels it up to Ivany. Ivany wheels across the line. He's stood up. Hester in. New Prague pounds it. Now they have a break for themselves. Wheeling through the neutral zone. Sharp pass on the line as Potts tries to hold his man to the outside. New Prague from the corner. Wheeling, dealing. Trying to center it. Deflected pass as Helmer tries to, and he's knocked down. No call. As he's basically wrestled to the ground, Nolan fires it up to Hester. It's contained at the point. It hits traffic. Still in the slot. A firing shot again hits traffic. Hester tries to steal it away. It's kicked up to Hester. Hester tries to get it to Ivany. Ivany now rolling in. Ivany from the dot. Firing. Over the cage. Because now is sent all the way down for an icing. Boy, the New Prague fans are going to need some vocal maintenance after this game. So with 9:32 on the clock and the score still knotted at 1, the Hornets will have a face-off in the Trojan end with Dorsey, Hester, and Ewers, backed up by Bauer and Helmer. Puck tied up on the dot. Dorsey wheels from the corner. He slides it to Hester. Hester now from the corner. Trying to get it back. Bauer blew a tire, and this is going to be a foot race. Helmer's got to get in there. All the way back down in the Hornet end. Oh, and he's run into the boards, and we will get a call. Puck slides up to Ewers, and it's tapped up. And we get a tripping call. The Hornets will be on the man advantage with 9:11 on the clock. So we're going to have Ivany, Wilkins, Dorsey, Darlene, Potter. Ivany on the draw. Set back to Darlene at the point. He looks. He fires a shot. There's a rebound. It's loose change, but nobody's home. Dorsey from the wall, trying to gain possession. It comes to Potter. Potter from the wall. Looks. Sends it back to Dorsey. Oh, and it sneaks past him on his backhand side. Darlene's going to have to pick this one up. Darlene slides to Ivany, over to Dorsey. Dorsey wheels his way, and he's going to gain on the left side. Walking in from the circle. Stops short, wheels around, looks. Back to Darlene at the point. Darlene down, one-timer. Ivany, there is loose change. Yes, did you see it? Ivany, one-time Ovechkin style, and that's it. Hornets are up 2-1 with 8:41 in the first. Lethal power play. So we got Bergmeyer, Kravita, Wilkins, Mizzelt, and Darlene. Trojans from the backside punch it through, contained by Mizzelt. Mizzelt brings it back into the Hornet end and flips it to Darlene. Darlene rink wides up to Wilkins. Wilkins gains the line on the left side, sweeps around the circle, trying to center it. There it is out front on the backhand side of Kravita. Now New Prague countering, rolling through the neutral zone. Toes a nice toe drag as he walks around Mizzelt, trying to center it. He whiffs on the centering pass. Still controlling on the wall. Wilkins tries to stick check it away. Now it comes to Bergmeyer. Bergmeyer through the red line, trying to walk it down, trying to sneak around a huge guy. Now rolling in, Centers it out front. A little waffler. Wilkins couldn't get there. Bergmeyer now trying to drive in as Kurvita's in there. Oh, and a nice check. What? Again? That was not an elbow, just for the record. This ref needs some remedial training on what is an actual infraction. So Bergmeyer will be shown the gate at 7:49. And the Trojans will have the man advantage. Well, it was clearly not an elbowing. But that's academic at this point, as the Hornets will have to fend this off. So we're going to have Nolan and Ewers with Bauer and Helmer. Off the draw, Helmer from the corner tried to steer it around to Bauer. Bauer punches it out and sends it all the way down for an icing. So Ewers will be taking the draw to the right of Bambry. Tied up in the ref skates, sent back to the point. New Prague looks. D-to-D pass as he send it down to the circle. Looking to center it, intercepted there by Helmer. As Helmer rides his man into the ref and into the boards, keeping him to the outside. Now Bauer working it. And the Hornets will be going to the box again. A tripping call for Helmer. So with 7:21, the Hornets will be shorthanded for the next 2 men down for the next minute and 33 seconds. So we have Nolan, Bauer, and Potter out. I don't know what they're talking about. All right. Monk sent back down in the corner. Potter trying to work his man. Back behind, thrown around to the near side corner, and now New Prague starts. From the wall, sliding it back to the point. They go D to D. Looking. A firing shot is trapped away by Tyler. Buck in the corner. New Prague cycles behind the cage, looks at their options. Back to the point. Looking, walking in. A firing shot hits traffic. And Bauer sends it down. And icing is called off. Excellent play by Bauer to waste time. 1 minute left in the 2-man advantage. As New Prague starts their attack. Through the neutral zone, wheeling down, gaining on the right side. All the way in, looking from the corner. Back to the point. Now, firing across, slightly intercepted. One-timer, didn't get a lot of wood on it. From the corner, New Prague, it goes off the ref. Now, to the near side wall. Walking from the circle, looking. Back to the point, trying to get a shot off. Nothing. They have to slide it to D to D. Now, walking in, an intercepted pass. New Prague can't find a rhythm. The Hornets are doing a good job so far. From the circle, looking. Long to the dot. Firing off the side of the twine. 14 seconds left. And the Hornets will get a man back. Potter working his man. From the corner, New Prague looks. Fires it to the near side. Right in the slot. Intercepted again. From the dot. Looking. Firing. Hitting traffic. Now back to the point. Hornets get a man back. It's 5-on-4 hockey. Nice tip by Bergmeyer. Well done. 15 seconds left in the man advantage. As the New Prague had like 18 people on the ice, but no call from the backside. New Prague looks up. 5 seconds left. Nice job by Potter to step up, and the Hornets are at full strength, and they've killed off the New Prague man advantage. Bauer trying to slide it up. New Prague working their way in from behind the cage. Bauer slams his man into the glass. It's from the corner. New Prague looks. Looking from behind. Centering out front. Tipped away. Nolan waffles it up, and it's a foot race for Ivany. He's rolling in. Trying to get control from the corner. Sliding it around his man, but he gets knocked off the puck. New Prague now from behind. Hassled by Ivany. Held up. Now a waffling pass is intercepted there by Ferrara. Nolan sends it back to the point to Mizzle. Mizzle slides it to Darlene. Darlene walks in. He fires. It's tipped. It's banging. Back to Darlene again. Darlene from the circle. Another shot with loose change, but nobody home. Up on the wall. Held by Ivany. Walks in on the circle. Dipsy doodles it. Loses it. And now it's sent around to the near side with 4.5 minutes to play in the second. Nolan hassling his man. Held at the point. Darlene slams it back down. Nolan from behind the net. Shovels it out. Oh, and a one-timer. Ivany couldn't turn the corner fast enough. Back to Mizzle. Mizzle fires it on net. There's a tip. It's banging. It's there. It's saved. Oh, look at the frothiness. Major froth. Froth factor 9. Pushing and shoving. Hands in the air. Fans are furious. So we'll get this all sorted out. We got one New Prague guy going to the bench. And it looks like Mizzle will be showing the gate. So I think it's just going to be coincidentals. I don't know. Yeah, so it is 5-on-5. So Dorsey, Hester, Ewers, Potts, and Potter. Dorsey off the draw, tied up on the dot, comes to Ewers. Ewers sends it up to Dorsey. Dorsey waffles it in and out of play. 4 minutes on the clock in the second. Score Edina 2, Trojans 1. Tied up, comes away. New Prague down the left flank, firing into Potts' equipment, and Ewers shoves it up the wall and out. Dorsey tries to pickpocket. New Prague comes away on the line, working their way across, throwing it down into the Edina end. Potter, first man back, reverses course, tries to get it up to Hester. Hester now looks, sends it to Dorsey's backside. New Prague steals it and knocked off the puck by Hester. Well done. Potter from behind the net, looking. Trying to find an outlet. He saucers it up. Here's a foot race. Can Ewers get there? Can Dorsey get there? And it's smothered up by the Trojan tender. Dorsey on the draw. Tied up on the dot. Comes away to Hester. Hester wheels around the circle. Tries to send her to Dorsey. Dorsey can't find the handle. Up on the wall. Just past Hester. Pinched up by Potter and thrown back down to Ewers. Ewers tries to center it. Hits traffic. Ewers now right out front. Point blank shot is turned away by the Trojan tender. So we'll do it again. Tied up, Hester trying to work it, comes back to New Prague D as they throw it up on the wall, up high. Helmer's going to have to race for this one. Trojans barreling down. They got an open man in the slot. They can't find the handle as they got to regroup. Now sent into the slot. Bauer from the backside. Slides it up, intercepted by New Prague, and they fire it back down into the Edina end. Helmer from the corner. Slides it over to Bauer. Bauer looks up to Ewers. Ewers to Dorsey. Dorsey gets knocked off the puck. Trojans trying to hold the line. They blow a tire. Helmer whiffs. Now the Trojans rolling in. A firing shot goes up high to the near side wall. Hornets in a dogfight as Ewers comes away. Tries to slide it to Hester. One-timer there to Dorsey. Doesn't quite get the pass, and Dorsey's rubbed out on the wall. Dorsey looking for an interference call. Nothing. As New Prague fires it down into the end for an icing. This is good old-fashioned Eddie Shore hockey. Knockdown, drag down type action. And the Hornets clinging to a tenuous 2-1 lead. Bergmeyer, Kervita, Wilkins in. Backed up by Dahlin and Potts. Off the draw, New Prague from the corner. Trying to wheel around. Wilkins digging at it, comes away to Bergmeyer. Bergmeyer from behind the cage, tries to center. Wilkins now in to help out. Bergmeyer pressed into the glass. Wilkins trying to turn the corner. Nothing doing. Now Wilkins wheeling, dealing from the corner. Trying to center it. Behind the cage. He's rubbed out. And now New Prague trying to break out. Potts steps up, shoves it on the wall. Thrown up. Kervita out. Centering it back to Bergmeyer. Bergmeyer to Dahlin. Dahlin fires. Loose change. Nothing. New Prague slides it rink wide. Dahlin sweeps it back up. It sneaks past Wilkins. New Prague now across the line, trying to work their way in. Soft shot, doesn't find its target. As New Prague works from the corner. Hornets pinning him up on the glass. Comes away to Bergmeyer. Bergmeyer fires it around to the far side. Up on the wall. Dahlin digging at it. Everyone's digging. Dahlin works it. Now it slides around to the near side. Back behind the cage. All the way around. Stopped by Dahlin. As he works his man. New Prague still controls. All the way back to the point. A cranker. Saved by Tyler. And Dahlin just flips it out. Here's a race for Wilkins. Wilkins trying to roll in. He toe drags on the dot. Looking in the slot. Firing. Fires wide. New Prague bangs it out with 45 seconds left in the period. Bauer goes D to Potter. Potter sweeps back in the Hornet zone, looks for a lane. Fires it up on the wall to Bergmeyer. Here's a tip. Ivany rolling in. Ivany. Yes, Ivany. Yes, Ivany. Did you see it? Anders Ivany with some nifty stick handling. Sneaks it by on the backhand side. With 27 seconds left in the second, the Hornets have taken a 3-1 lead. Off the draw, Potter from the backside slams it up on the wall. It's intercepted by the Trojans as they pierce the zone. Trying to walk the way around the circle, Potter from his knees. Intercepted at the point. New Prague slot firing shot. Salted away by Bambury with 11 seconds. This New Prague team is not going away quietly by any means. Nolan on the draw. Puck sent down into the corner. Potter stood up, gets to Ferrara. Ferrara in the ref skates. He still wheels behind the cage. Looking. Tries to slide it up to Ivany. Ivany tried to sweep it. And a shot goes wide. And that's where we end at 2. With the Hornets leading 3-1 in a very physical game. And we'll be back in 10 minutes. All right, just about to start the third. Hornets up 3-1 in a very spirited contest. So we're going to start out with Ivany, Nolan, Ferrara, backed up by Bauer and Helmer, and Bambury between the pipes. New Prague still has a shot advantage, 19-15. Off the draw, New Prague steals across the line. A firing shot goes wide. And Ivany picks it up on the far side, pitches it out into the neutral zone. New Prague blows a tire. Here's an opportunity. And we get it offsides. Off the draw, Nolan tries to get it over Farah and stolen away. Trojans now pitch it down into the Edina end. Helmer first man in on the puck. He's wrestling with a Trojan as he tries to gain possession. It comes to Ferrara. Ferrara tries to center it across, and it flips out into the gallery. Oh, a quick side shot. New Prague trying to sneak one in there as they work from behind the cage. Trying to center out front, trying to wrap around. Nothing. Now from the goal line, pitched up in the air. Bauer meets his man on the wall. Sent back to the point. Intercepted by Ferrara. Ferrara dishes it up. It's a foot race. Ivany rolling in. A little weak shot off the side and smothered up. And Ivany just ran out of runway. As the Hornets go for a line change and bring on Dorsey, Hester, Ewers, backed up by Mizzleton, Darlene. Dorsey on the draw. Tied up in the dot, comes to the wall. Hester sends it back to Darlene to the point. A firing shot. It's traffic. And New Prague pitches it out of the zone, and Mizzle races back to collect from the backside. Mizzle looks up. He wheels, he deals. He works through the neutral zone. He's got Hester. He's got Dorsey. He's got a lot of people. Rolls around the circle, looks. He tried to pass, he whiffed on it, but he still controls on the point. Flips it down to Hester in the corner. Hester's knocked off the puck. As Dorsey rolls in, tries to stop the advance. New Prague held up on the wall by Ewers. Ewers dishes it down to Dorsey. Dorsey on the dot, works it, slides it. Intercepted in the slot at the last second, and here come the Trojans through the neutral zone. Knocked off the puck by Ewers. Ewers wheels up the wall, gains the line, walks in, stops short, slaps it, and he sneaks out of the zone. Potter will have to reset, sends it to Potts, up to Hester on the wall. Hester walks across the blue line. He's knocked off the puck. Trojans now from the backside. A stretch pass goes off Hester's skate, but they're right at the line. Now walking in. Potter keeps his man to the outside. He knocks him up. He knocks him down. Potter from the corner. Looks for a lane. He's going to take it himself. Wheeling up. Gaining the line. Walking in. He's got Kavita. And a long shot is saved by the Trojan tender. 12:44 in the third. The winner of this game will go on to meet number 1 seeded Bloomington Jefferson tomorrow. Wilkins working behind the cage, looking for an outlet pass. Banked up, back to Potts. Potts looks, he fires, hits traffic. Wilkins from the corner. Trying to get it back to Potts. Potts shoves it up on the wall, but New Prague comes away. Trying to work through the neutral zone. New Prague down the right flank. Off Potter's skate, but knocked down into the Hornet end. Potts from behind the cage, slides it back to Potter. Goes behind him up to Wilkins. Wilkins tries to center it up to Kavita. Kavita now rolling through. He blows a tire, and we're going to get a call. A tripping call, and the Hornets will be on the man advantage at 12-11. The Hornets look to add to their 3-1 lead. Power play opportunity. With Nolan, Kurvita, and Hester backed up by Bauer and Mizzle. Off the draw, comes back to Mizzle at the point. Mizzle walks in, he fires. He fires wide. Bauer from the side wall, looking. Back to Mizzle at the point. Mizzle down to Bauer. Bauer from the wall, walks in, slides it across. Hester now, back to Nolan. Nolan at the point, looks across. Down to Bauer, skates over it. Bauer now, wheels on the circle, back to Mizzle. Mizzle looks. Wheels on the wall, tried to get it down to Bauer, stolen away by New Prague. And stolen away by Mizzle. Mizzle wheels across the red line. He's going to gain on the right side. He walks in, he stops short at the point, sliding it over to Nolan. Nolan walking in, held up on the wall, still controlling. Wheeling with one hand, slides it over to Hester. Hester from the wall, wheels across the blue line, looks. Stolen away. In the skates, can they get it back? Yes, Hester from the point. Looking. Back to Mizzle. Mizzle fires. There's a rebound. Bauer! Fires wide. Nolan stops it at the point. He shovels it down to Hester. Hester banks it back to Nolan. Nolan holds on the point. He walks in. Stops short. Wheels across the slot. Walking in. A firing shot. Sails over the net. Hester one time. Hits traffic. The puck skitters to the far side wall as Nolan picks it up. He fires it back down to Hester. Hester looks. Back to the point. Back to Hester. Hester now back to Mizzle at the point. Down to Bauer. One-timer. There it is. Banging. It's in. Yes, Kurvita. Did you see it? A power play goal at 10:40 by Kurvita as he bangs in the rebound and the Hornets lead 4-1. So now we get Nolan, Ferrara, Ivany, Potts, and Potter. Off the draw, Ferrara sends it back to Potts, that throws it to Potter. Potter now up to Ferrara, who gains the line. He walks in on the circle. He fires wide. It rolls back to the point. Potts stops it, throws it back up. Intercepted by New Prague as they exit the zone. Potter sweeps it up on the backside, pitches it up on the wall to Ivany, who sends it down into the Trojan end. From the corner, Trojans trying to gain possession. Ivany tries to walk away. He's pinched on the boards. And the Trojans roll, sending up the near side wall. Picked off by Ferrara. Held on the line. Now Trojans send it across, rink wide. And they pitch it down into the Hornet end. Less than 10 minutes to play. As Potter from behind the cage looks. Sends it up the wall, no one ready. And it's held at the point. Trojans walking in. Knocked off the puck by Ferrara. Nolan now sending it up to Ivany. Ivany toe drags and a massive fall, and Ivany is hurt. Is he hurt? I don't know. Maybe he's just frustrated. So he tied a little toe drag. And he was sent to the ice, and he looks fine. So, the Hornets will be on the power play again. With Kurvita, Nolan, and Hester backed up by Bauer and Mizzle. As that was called a trip. Back to the point. Mizzle looks. He fires low. He fires wide. Bauer from the point sends it back to Mizzle. Mizzle looks. Down to Bauer. Intercepted by the Trojans as they roll. 2-on-2 situation. Now, rolling across the line and an offsides. So we're going to have Dorsey, Ivany, Potter, Wilkins, and Darlene. Off the draw, puck sent back just beyond Dorsey's reach, and Darlene will collect in the corner. Darlene looks up ice, reverses course, looks for an outlet. He's behind the cage, he's working it. Up to Dorsey. Dorsey now rolling through the neutral zone, trying to work his way around. He gains the line on the left side. He's cruising in, around the circle, around the cage. Looking for an outlet, looking. Back to Darlene at the point, a firing shot. There's loose change, banged out, held by Darlene at the point. Sweeps it down to Dorsey. Dorsey on the wall, trying to work it, working it, slamming it, and now it's sent down into the hornet end, where Ivany will pick it up. Ivany now rolling with speed through the red line. He's going to gain the line, walking around the left side, all the way around the cage, looking for an outlet pass, all the way around the circle, looking, curling back, sending it down. Now in the slot for Darlene. Darlene fires. It's a low shot, picked up by Dorsey in the corner. Dorsey sweeps it back to Darlene at the point. Across the blue line, working his way down to the circle. There to Dorsey. Dorsey fires. Oh, somehow the Trojans saved it. Unbelievable. Now the Trojans tilting the ice back. 2-on-3. They just fire it down. Sweeps down to Ivany in the corner. Ivany stood up. Trojans working it. Picked off by Darlene. Darlene sends it up to Potter. 13 seconds left in the man advantage. Rink wide up to Ivany. Ivany gains the line. He walks in on the circle. He fires. Saved by the tender. It's out front. Wilkins from the corner. Looking. Sends it down. Dorsey from the corner. Slaps at it. Sends it to Potter. Sneaks past him. And the New Prague is now back at full strength as they pound it up and all the way down for an icing with 7:29 on the clock. So that brings on Nolan, Ferrara, and Ivany, backed up by Helmer and Bauer. Nolan on the draw. Back to Ferrara. Ferrara wheels, deals into the slot. It's banging. It's Ivany. He couldn't find the wood. He was intercepted by a stick check. Ivany from the corner. Knocked off the puck. Here comes New Prague as they try to roll up on the wall. Through traffic. Swept away there. Trying to work it across the red line. And it's worked up on the line. Nolan trying to walk across. He's doing a good job as he rolls. And he just sends it down into the corner. Ferrara pestering his man behind the net. New Prague now rolling. As they work through the neutral zone, they slide it up, they gain the line. Stick checked away, but it's still dangerous as they wheel around the circle. Helmer trying to work his man to the outside. New Prague from the corner. Intercepted, now Ferrara rolls through the neutral zone. He's figuring out what to do. He's toe dragging. He's walking in. Another toe drag. Toe drag city. Picked off by New Prague as they tilt the ice back the other way. Rolling through the neutral zone. 2-on-3 situation as they just dump it down into the hornet end and go for a line change. Bauer meets his man. The puck goes up in the air. No one knows where it is. Trying to slide it up to Ivany. Right in the slot. Stick check by Ferrara as he slides it up to Ivany. Here comes Ivany rolling across the line. He's got one man to beat. He looks around. He tries the toe drag. But New Prague is relentless on the back check as they roll through across the red line. Gaining on the left side. Walking around the circle. It's chipped up on the wall to Ivany and just punches it out of the zone. Trojans from the red line. Working their way down. Gaining the line. As Potter meets his man in the corner. He battles. Right out front, chipped away by Hester. Hester now has some clear ice. He's rolling. Hester down the left flank, working in. Slides it all the way across to Ewers. Bit hot on the pass. Hester from the corner. Slides it back to Potter at the point. Potter fires. There's a tip by Ewers. He can't get it. Tried to center it, and it's slammed all the way down, and this will go for an icing at 5:25 in the final frame. So, Dorsey, Hester, Ewers, Mizzle, Darlene. From the corner, Mizzle pinches up, tries to work on the line, and here come the Trojans as they... Oh, intercepted by Hester. Hester rolls in. He tries to work it around. He's hemmed in by two Trojans. It's thrown up on the wall. It's back to Mizzle. Mizzle fires. There's a rebound. Nobody home for that. This New Prague is pinned down in their own zone. Trying to work it across. Dorsey in, disrupts play. Hornets can't quite hold the zone, and it's fired back to Mizzle. Mizzle looks up ice to Ewers. Ewers across the line. He walks in on the circle, around the dot, looking. He tries to slide it. He slid it behind the cage to no outlet. New Prague picks it up, intercepted by Hester. Now Dorsey around in the circle, back to Ewers. Ewers in the high slot, firing. Saved by the Trojan tender. With 4:38 on the clock. Shots are now in favor of the Hornets. No, they're not. New Prague still has the advantage. Is that? No, we do have the advantage. 25-20 now. As New Prague has called a timeout. I think it's Bloomington. I think it's Bloomington. According to it's right up by the entrance here. So with time ticking away for New Prague, we should expect them to pull their goalie. At some point. Yeah, they got a first round bye. They're already in. Yeah. But in terms of these brackets, they didn't have to play game one. So Bergmeyer, Kervita, Wilkins, Mizzle, Dahlin. New Prague now with numbers. 3-on-2. They try a rink wider. It's intercepted by Mizzle. They gain the line. They walk in. They fire. And it hits Dahlin and goes into the webbing. So it appears that New Prague will be pulling their goalie early, a la NHL style. So we'll see. Off the draw, New Prague trying to drive in, pitch to the corner. Dahlin sends it up the wall to Bergmeyer, controlled by New Prague. Back to the point, a shot sent aside by Tyler. It's banging out front, turned away to the near side. Wilkins tries to shovel it up the wall, dealing with a loose puck. Up to Kervita, but it sneaks past, and the New Prague Trojans have pulled their goalie. Puck working on the wall. Dahlin holds it on the line, but it sneaks down into the Edina end. And we got an offsides. So the tender's back in the net for a neutral zone faceoff. New Prague firing it down into the Hornet end. And Helmer picks it up, sends it around to the far side. Kervita on the wall, trying to slip it up to Bergmeyer. Bergmeyer trying to roll through the neutral zone. Picked off by New Prague. So they try to work it. Wilkins sends it down into the Trojan end, keeping the netminder between the pipes. Picked off before it can exit the zone. Wilkins working out on the wall, comes to Bergmeyer. Bergmeyer across the high slot. Bergmeyer fires a shot. Not a lot of wood. Kervita from the corner. Hammers his man. Wilkins peels around on it, trying to keep possession. He's hemmed in. So Trojans desperate to try to exit the zone. Sent down to Kervita. Kervita slips it back to Wilkins. Wilkins fires it. Hits traffic. He works his way in. Loses the handle. Kervita from behind in the near side. Slips it around to the far side. And New Prague fires it down for what will be an icing. With 2:56 on the clock. And the Hornets with a 4-1 lead. So Nolan, Ferrara, Ivany, backed up by Potts and Potter. Nolan off the draw, New Prague cycles behind their cage. Looking up ice, desperate for an outlet. Sliding it rink wide. They roll through the neutral zone. Send it down, and the Hornets pitch it right back. Here's Ivany with a break. Rolling in. Trying to get possession. Rolling across. No goal. And wow, Ivany sent packing as Nolan from behind the net tried to wrap around. He's boxed from the outside. Tries to center in front. A shoveler shot by Ferrara sails wide from the corner. New Prague frisbees it up out of the zone. Potter steals it up on the wall. Skates past Ferrara. And now New Prague fires it down into the Hornet end with approaching the 2-minute mark. Potts throwing it up. And Ivany just sends it all the way down. And it's an icing on an open net. 2:06 on the clock. As we now have 6-on-5 hockey. Face off to the left of Tyler. Nolan on the draw. Trojans from the dot, trying to work it. Nolan sweeping it up to Ferrara on his backhand side, and the Trojans control from the mid-ice. Losing the handle, Ferrara almost had a steal there on an open net. New Prague from the backside, long rink-wide stretch pass, gaining the line, walking in, toe dragging, Potts holding the outside, into the slot, banging, nothing. From the corner, another bang, still in the slot, still working it, as Nolan finally gets it out. And New Prague works from the red line, sends it rink wide. New Prague now starting their attack. Rolling through, gaining on the left side. Plenty of Hornets there, stolen away by Ivany as he races. He has an open net opportunity. All the way down, it's Ivany. And it is 5-1 with 1:18 on the clock. And this is pretty much a game. This is a Trojan tender. Returns to the net. Dorsey, Hester, and Ewers roll on with Mizzle and Darlene. From the backside, Trojans trying to pinch up. Here comes Dorsey, rolling across the line, looking. Fired, tried to center that, and it was stick checked. Ewers still working it. He's knocked down. He doesn't know where the puck is. Comes away to Dorsey, or Hester. Hester wheels across, throws it back to Darlene. Darlene slides it across to Mizzle. Mizzle now gains the line. He walks in, and we get an offsides. Dorsey on the draw, tied up. New Prague waffles it up, trying to sneak it past Mizzle. They work down the right side. Mizzle boxes his man out, cycles behind the net. Loses the handle, but he sneaks it up. Hornets trying to punch out of the zone. New Prague is persistent with 39 seconds left. Mizzle from the backside. Hammers it up the wall, sends it down. This will not be an icing. It's called off. New Prague goes D to D, stolen away by Hester almost. New Prague tries desperately to work it out of the zone. Helmer from the backside, punches it up on the wall, and we get another offsides with 17 seconds left. Dorsey off the draw, works his way, gains the line, curls around the circle, looking to center, right out in the crease. Nobody home, but there's Hester. Can't find the wood, and it's sent all the way down for an icing with 5 seconds. And that's it. The Hornets have won their first game of the playoffs in District 6 hockey. The score of 5-1. The next game will be tomorrow night. I think it's night. against Bloomington Jefferson, the number 1 seed. The last time we played Jefferson, they handed us a loss of 2-1. So if the Hornets show up, should be quite a contest. So we'll see you then.